Hey guys! So we arrived at a hotel last night after we got off trail and had some trail magic and a birthday cake from Fresh Ground.
Yeah.
So we came here and took a warm shower, slept in a warm bed last night, and we're basically taking a 0 today, which we're super excited about. So it's kind of emulating what we would do on trail. We're going to do some laundry today. We rested a lot this morning, had a big breakfast down here at the hotel, and then now we're just doing some laundry. And we're gonna go back out to the laundry after we switch this over, and we'll answer some questions, maybe do a recap, and end our series of our last shakedown hike for the Appalachian Trail coming up in March. Hey everyone!
Hi.
We've finished our section hike of the Foothills Trail, and hopefully you guys have enjoyed the last 5 videos. Today's video is really a recap of everything that we've learned, some of the challenges that we've faced as we sit here on a 0 day, simulated 0 day at the hotel. Our laundry is going in the background. We did a resupply this morning. If we were going to go back on trail, it's basically just things we needed for today at Walmart. And so now we're here, kind of just relaxing, resting, getting some chores done. And so let's talk about some of the challenges that we faced.
Yeah.
And it feels like they all hit us at once, right? I mean, it seems like everything combined to like the perfect storm, if you will. But I'm happy to say we came out strong on the end, which is really cool. So the first challenge, I know we've talked about it a little bit in some of the other videos, is the water crossing. That was right out the gate. That was after we had woken up at 1:30 that morning, driven almost 10 hours from Florida, and then basically just jumped out on the trail as soon as we entered Table Rock State Park. And so we were pretty exhausted, pretty tired. We just had Christmas, so, you know, we had some fun with family. And within the first 0.4 miles, we had a pretty significant water crossing. And significant enough to where I really kind of was wondering what was safe and what was not safe. The water was running so swiftly. South Carolina just received an area about 4.5 inches of rain. So it was coming so quickly, so swiftly. It went over my knees and several inches higher on Little Bear. And so when I tried off camera, at first to even just take a step in, I felt like I probably could have done it by myself, but every time I picked up my foot, it was like the water just swept it. So I had to really hold on. And I didn't feel comfortable with Little Bear doing that. Just, it's not worth it. It will always be safety first. So then we bushwhacked up and down the trail a little bit and found a huge oak tree that had fallen across the creek. And basically, I held on to it as I walked across the river, dumped my pack, dumped my trekking poles, walked back, got her pack, her trekking poles, walked across the river, came back and got her. And she was just really, really good in listening to directions, very brave, was holding onto the log as I did, and she watched every single place I put my foot. So I was very specific with put your foot here, and we just moved very slowly across. And then at the very end, at the last probably 5 feet or so before we hit the land, we hopped onto the log.
Butt scooted like 5 feet.
Yeah, butt scooted like 5 feet. which that actually wasn't really scary because we didn't have our packs on, so there was nothing weighing us one way or the other. The first time I did it, it was kind of scary because I still had my pack on. Of course, it was unstrapped everywhere, but it's just still, it messes up your balance. So we got across that.
High five, kiddo. I'm proud of you. You're so brave.
But at this point now we're pretty wet because, you know, of course it reached up, we rolled up our pants, but it still got, you know, a big portion of the bottom of our pants, and just a spray from crossing the little river, or the creek, Carrick Creek, got us pretty wet. But we're like, okay, whatever, no harm, no foul, let's get to going. It was 2:30, it gets dark by 5:30. We kind of needed to move with a purpose, which we did. Yeah, and so we were moving with a purpose, making some pretty good miles. It was pretty much straight up Pinnacle Mountain, which was super hard. Right out the gate, I was like, wow, ooh, this is going to be hard to keep up a 2.5 mile per hour pace because of the elevation, but we knew we could do it, and we kind of had to do it. It was either that or turn back around and head back to Table Rock and camp with my husband and daughters. So we kept on. About an hour into the hike, it started raining. It wasn't pouring, but it was enough. It was more than drizzle, quite almost at a sprinkle. You think?
Yeah.
And so we thought about grabbing our umbrellas because we love hiking with umbrellas and they're great. But we looked at the clock, and at that time it was like 4 o'clock or so. And we still had, it was a total of 5 miles we needed to do that night. And it was getting colder and darker, you know, as the sun was getting closer to setting. And so we just didn't have time to mess with it.
So it's raining again. Now it's starting to rain a little bit harder. We just checked the temperature. It's about 55 degrees now. And we have about 1.5 miles left to go and 1 hour until sunset. Whew. On the hardest day, straight 4 miles up Pinnacle Mountain. Rain. Our first ever river crossings. Whew. Lots of elevation, steep grade. I think it was like 13%, 12%, I don't remember. Oh, but we know. Baby Air, what is it? No pain? No main. Whew, we got this?
Yeah.
All right, let's go.
We just kind of were rushing against the sun, so we were booking it. And we got soaked. And all we kept thinking of is, it's okay, we have very warm sleep clothes, dedicated sleep socks. We're good to go. Let's just get there. That is the most miserable I've ever been. Right? I think I recall you saying...
Yeah, I can't feel my fingers
at
all. I can't even, like, pinch my little... What's that called?
Oh, your hip belt.
My hip belt or anything, really. Also, we put the rain fly on wrong because we couldn't see. It's quite dark. It was, like, 10-20 minutes after dark.
Yeah, so we ended up arriving to camp about probably 15-20 minutes after it had gotten dark, and now we're just frozen. We're like shaking visibly. It was so cold. The wind had kicked up, plus the driving rain, plus now it was about, I think, 50 degrees.
Yeah.
Completely miserable. We weren't about to be hypothermic. It wasn't like that, but it felt terrible. So like she said, you know, it was dark and we're just trying to throw up the tent as fast as possible. I remember you saying, Mom, I don't like this. And I was like, me either. This is terrible. So yeah, we ended up putting up the tent. We put the rain fly on.
Completely wrong.
Well, it wasn't completely wrong. It's because we have the footprint. Anyways, it wasn't completely wrong. It didn't fit in the spaces it was supposed to fit in. So I just kind of rigged it as much as possible, and then prayed because it was supposed to rain and thunderstorm for the rest of the night. I prayed so hard because the wind was gusting, and I trust that tent completely when it's done correctly, but due to our numb fingers and just freezing bodies, we did the best that we could. Obviously it was sturdy enough because it held, but God answered our prayers, and it did not rain anymore for like an hour after we got into the tent and got into dry clothes. It didn't rain anymore for the entire night. And so God protected us, and that was just such a divine intervention, and we're so thankful for that, because it was supposed to thunderstorm, and my husband and daughters were 5 miles back at Table Rock, and he said it poured lightning. It was severe weather, and we were only 5 miles from them and nothing. So thank you, God.
Nothing at all.
Yeah. So let's see. We also learned with that it was our first time really dealing with cold, wet wind and rain, and that coupled with hiking against the clock is our kryptonite. That is not something we want to willingly put ourselves into. We know that sometimes that it may happen, and we're just going to have to suck it up, and we will, just like we did last time. But if we have it in our control to, we see a thunderstorm coming and it's going to get cold, then we're getting off trail. I have no shame in that. We will go to a hotel, go to a hostel, wait till that passes. That was terrible. That was absolutely terrible. When you have to deal with it, you have to deal with it, and I'm okay with that. But I'm not going to just deal with it when we have the ability to not deal with it. Luckily, we've saved up some money to allocate for bad weather and etc. to get off trail. Another challenge that we faced was, it turns out Jael our little bear, was sick for the first few days.
Yeah.
How was that?
Freaking terrible.
Yeah.
My back was hurting. I thought I was dehydrated, but I was chugging water because I had like a slight little headache.
Yeah.
I was not dehydrated. Not at all.
Yeah.
I was just sick.
Yeah.
I was sick.
Just luckily no, not like the flu or anything, but a pretty severe cold for the first few days.
Couldn't really breathe out of my right nostril.
And then just draining. Yeah. So that was tough for her. And then the last 2 days for me, you can still hear it in my voice because I'm feeling pretty terrible today. I'm on my second dose of Dayquil. I was sick the last 2 days. And so we've experienced for the first time pushing up elevation, struggling, and being sick, and that was tough. But you do what you have to do, and there's no other option. You have to make it up and over mountains to get to a hotel, get to a hostel, get to a shuttle. You just have to do it, and I'm really proud of us that throughout all of these challenges that we were tested mentally and we passed.
Yeah.
And there were definitely days that we had to remind ourselves, my daughter's just walking in, that we had to dig deep, and then we had to dig even deeper, and that all of the things that we were feeling was just temporary.
Yeah.
So just as the great feeling and the happy feeling and the euphoric and the excitement and all of that is temporary, so are the hard days. And there were days I remember, you had your first hard day and, just tried to encourage you. How was it? Did it feel like I was encouraging you?
Yes, but it also kind of felt like you were annoying me because I was like, please just leave me alone. Just let me hike. Let me get it over with today. But yeah, it did help when I was like feeling a little bit sad. I was like, I don't want to be here. I'd rather be with my cat and with my brothers, my family.
Yeah.
I was like...
Yeah, so we played that mental game. Like, why are we here? This is stupid. What are we doing? Why did we choose to come, when it was so cold and we knew it was going to rain? And in this time of year when we only have... we're only able to hike until 5:30. So, not that we can't night hike, but I don't know. I just don't prefer it. And also because it's cold.
Yeah,
so you get to camp.
cold.
Yeah, and you're freezing, trying to make dinner and put up the tent, and your hands are freezing. That is one thing that I learned. The one single thing that I am not thrilled about were my gloves.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about that.
You were okay with yours.
Yeah, I was okay with mine.
She has the same setup as I do. I need better gloves. My fingers were freezing on the nights that, because so much rain had fallen, everything was just still so wet. So we'd wake up and there's tons of water just on the fly on the outside. And so you'd have to shake that off because you don't want to carry that, and your fingers are getting wet. And so even with the other setup I had, my fingers just felt like they wanted to break off. They were cold. So I need better hiking gloves. But yeah, it tested us mentally. Also, I know we've mentioned the last time we completely thru hiked the Foothills Trail in April, we went from Oconee to Table Rock.
So we're here. We just got dropped off by Taz, and we're getting ready to start our trek. It's about 50 degrees, and it's raining. So we're gonna stop and put on our rain gear, and they're gonna put their pack covers on. So we're all ready to go. Let's move.
And that trail, that direction of travel basically lets you build up your trail legs.
Which was way better.
Yes, way better.
First day, no trail legs, and it was the hardest day.
Yeah.
Second day, like, the bruising started. Third day for me, my bruising completely went away, which was great. My trail legs started to build up, but the problem is it's getting easier, so you don't really need them now. So, like, but it's still useful, though.
It was still tough, though.
Yeah.
It was still pretty tough, so I felt like we didn't have that time to kind of build ourselves up, and we've realized that we like to start out slow, to build our trail legs, to build our stamina, to build our cardio, because we're from Florida, and unless we're doing our stairs, there's no way. I'm telling you guys, if you're from a flat place, there's no way to train for mountain hiking other than getting on trail and mountain hiking, period. So we already knew starting the AT, we're planning to start very slow, very deliberate, very intentional, so our bodies can build up and then dictate, how many miles we're doing per day and what have you. But this didn't allow for that because we had to make the miles. We had to go. So yeah, I'm excited. I did not have the best time because it was hard with all of those challenges. This was not my favorite ever, but I am incredibly grateful that we had this opportunity to test ourselves, and we passed. We passed with an A+.
And like an A-.
I'm going to go with an A+, because even the days, we never had a bad day on the same day, which it might happen, and that's okay. We'll just be quiet and put our audiobooks in and just hike in silence, which is fine. But you lifted me up when I was having a hard day. I was lifting you up when you were having a hard day, and we just made it together. And you just have to remember that feelings are temporary. They don't have to dictate the rest of your day. They will pass just like the clouds pass in the sky. And that's just something that we have to continue to remind ourselves. Let's see, some of the positives. Well, let's go. You want to go with the things that we learned and then the positives?
Yeah, okay.
Okay, so things that we learned: cold, wet.
Terrible.
It's our kryptonite. We already talked about how we're going to try to avoid that when we can. Let's see. We loved our water-resistant, waterproof kind of lined pants. Yeah.
Mine were waterproof.
Yeah, mine say water resistant, but I fell in a puddle several times. I sat on everything wet for every break we had and never ever did it soak through. They were amazing.
Yeah, me either. Also, they're so warm because my pants are lined with fleece.
Mine are too.
And they're so warm. And like sometimes in the morning, I'm like, I don't want to put on some cold pants. The only thing that's cold is the outside.
Yeah, the inside's
it's
nice.
Perfectly warm on the inside.
Yeah, it was great. But we do need what?
Belts.
Why?
My pants keep on falling down. Even though I have a drawstring, it slowly started to come on down because my hip belt was slowly shimmy it down as I take steps.
Yeah.
It's really annoying.
So we need belts. We think that, we'll be able to manage that a little bit better as we go, and because the first few days, it is so hard for us to eat. After that, you're good about day 2.5, day 3, and she's just eating constantly. Me, and I think also because I was getting sick.
I'm a snacking girl. I don't eat meals, I snack.
Yeah, but we had good meals too.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we need belts. No need for rain pants if we wear the pants that we wore today, because again, they're waterproof. So that's another thing we can check off our list. I was averaging, according to my Coros watch, I was burning about 3,000 calories per day. I have no idea how I'm going to come close to eating that. I knew that was probably going to be an issue for both of us. So I think we're just going to be intentional and be conscious of the fact and try to count the calories every day, and then just eat big when we get off trail. We plan to take a 0
every Sunday.
Well, I don't know about every Sunday. We're going to honor the Sabbath, and we're going to take a rest day. So I don't know what day it will be, but we are. Whether it could be a 0 too. If we hike, 1, 2, 3 miles, and then we take that day off. But we're going to honor our body. We're going to honor God with the Sabbath and eat big. We're going to have to. We're going to have to refuel and build up our calories back then. Don't overpack food. That was something that I've already learned.
I packed perfectly this time.
Yeah.
I mostly just packed snacks. I didn't really pack any lunch because we didn't have time to stop this time because I knew we were gonna like have 5 days instead of 7. So I was like, I'm not gonna pack lunch. I'm just gonna pack a crap ton of snacks. Hope it fills me up, and I packed it perfectly.
Yeah. And it was hard to gauge too because, as you'll see in the videos, we Fresh Ground fed us a couple of times, and so we ate big.
Hey, Jael, what is that?
Fresh ground.
Fresh ground, yes! Oh, thank you, God. Hey, guys!
Trails and set up and feed, mobile kitchen. So, but I have friends. I have friends in all of it. I have a board members.
Big with Fresh Ground, and that trail magic was amazing. Oh,
Beautiful.
God bless you, Fresh Ground. We love you. We're so thankful for your ministry, and he really creates not just trail magic and food, but he creates a rest stop. He creates a place where everybody feels welcome, everyone feels loved, and fed. And so that was a little hard to gauge on. I brought a little bit too much food because I wasn't really sure at what points we would be able to meet up with him. So I had to bring food just in case we didn't. So overpacked just a little bit, but not terribly. And we already knew this, but it was confirmed tenfold this time.
Smiles over miles.
Smiles over miles,
Yep.
yes. We ended up going a little over 48 miles out of the 76, 72. I can't remember what the full Foothills Trail is, but we ended up going about 50 miles. And we stopped short a couple of days just so that we can meet up with Fresh Ground and the whole crew. There was probably 30 of us dispersed all along the trail. There wasn't a group of 30 hiking together, so nobody get concerned about, the trail and protecting the trail because everybody was so far apart. I mean, there were people that were 20-something miles behind us. There were people that were 30 miles ahead of us and everywhere in between. But we decided to slow down, even though we were already kind of, cutting it close with our days cut short, because we wanted to be with them. And it was so fun. It was so neat. And every time we wanted to stop at the waterfall or just sit and linger on that warm rock in the sun, we kept having to look at the clock and we're like, oh my gosh, we only have so many hours left to hike. And so we don't want to do that. We're not going to do that on the AT unless there's an emergency, like, crazy weather coming in that was not predicted, or some other reason that we have to get off trail quickly. We are not rushing. We're not trying to beat the clock. We are going to hike with an intentional mindset of, we want to finish. So there's going to be some point where we have to try to do some math and average things out. But I don't want to be to the point where we can't sit down and visit with people, and we can't sit down and have that extra snack or go down that blue blaze to that beautiful waterfall or scenic overlook. I just don't want to do that. That was so drilled into me this time of that is not the experience that I want. So we're going to make sure that we don't do that. I think that was it as far as the things that we learned.
Yeah, that's it.
And we'll wrap up with the positives. We're right at 20 minutes, so let's wrap up with the positives. First and foremost,
The people.
the people.
I can't do it. That's what wakes me up sometimes.
We had planned a trip out west.
Okay.
Planned a trip out west.
We should walk by down
Like 2
there.
years because we had to.
Birthday to you.
Aw, happy birthday, little bear! Yay! Thank you!
I broke it when I was northeast North Carolina. So I lived in that bad on the second one time. Little by little, it's just growing. But,
Oh my gosh.
Yeah,
It's so sweet. I've learned a lot from them.
Yeah.
Just beautiful community.
Beautiful community. So thankful. there were so many past AT thru hikers, and we're going to put an ending to the video where you can see some of them. We don't have all of their pictures, but a lot of these are courtesy of Fresh Ground from his Facebook page where he posted them. I say it every time, you guys. If you've been watching our videos for a while, I say it every time. The trail continues to restore my faith in humanity, and the hiker community exploded in love and support for us, and they embraced us, and they encouraged us, and they cheered us on, answered our questions when we had some, things that we were wondering about. I just can't say enough. I can't say enough for everybody we met on trail, and we love you guys so much, and we're so thankful to have been a part of this thing. And again, Fresh Ground,
thank you.
You are a true trail angel, and you are a true angel in general. And we are just so thankful to know you, and we hope to know you for many, many more years. So the people was the best part, and if it means that we have to slow down, maybe even speed up a couple times to be with some of the people, we're going to do it, because and it's all about relationships, in life. It's all about relationships, and I think that we're going to probably make some of the best friends we've ever made once we get on the AT in March. So there was that. Of course, the trail was beautiful. It was cool to see it in December versus in April. So that was neat. You got to see a lot more through the trees that, didn't have leaves. The trail magic, amazing. First time we got trail magic really in terms of like food ever on a trail, right?
Yeah, I think so.
The trail magic we've gotten before has been like people taking our trash or giving us a drink, which is super thankful. But it was cool just to have a hot meal to fuel you back up. All of our gear performed well, except for my gloves. I do want some new gloves, and we need a belt. But all of the gear performed well, so we're set. I'm going to grab another pair of gloves. If you guys have any suggestions for cold hands and gloves, please let me know, because I got to find something. But outside of that, our gear performed perfectly. Tent. We did try for the first time the the Nemo Tensor Extreme 8.5 R value.
Oh, the pad.
Yeah, that pad was brilliant. It feels pretty much just like the regular Tensor.
Yeah.
But so warm. It's like 3.5 inches. It's brilliant. It works out great. We're taking it with us. Whether or not we'll get back the other one, the smaller one, when it gets warmer, I don't know. I think it's only a couple ounces heavier, so we'll probably just keep it.
Yeah.
It was good, right? Let's see. And the biggest thing to come out of this.
It's our tested mental strength.
Yeah. We're ready.
That was hard.
It was hard.
Yeah.
It tested us in so many levels. But we're ready, you guys. Seriously. If I needed any other confirmation on whether or not we have the mental toughness to do this, it was this hike. And we passed with flying colors. We know it's not going to be easy. We're not kidding ourselves. We know probably one of the biggest challenges will be missing family.
Yeah. Missing my little cat. Because I miss her now.
Yeah.
We've been gone for like 6 days. 7.
It's going to be tough, but we can do this, and we're super excited. We thank you guys so much for your support, and that's it. That's going to be our last big shakedown hike until we start in March. We'll keep posting videos. We'll do a complete gear loadout now that we know exactly what we're taking, minus my gloves.
And our belts.
And the belt, yeah. But we're ready. We're excited to go. And meeting all these people out here that have gone before us and that have done this amazing adventure successfully really just kind of gave us more encouragement, and we're ready. Right? All right, so if you haven't yet, please like and then subscribe to our channel. We'd love for you to follow us along as we continue to adventure, and we thank you guys so much for your support. We're so grateful to each and every one of your comments. We're trying really hard to respond to all of them because they're all very important to us. But thank you again, and we'll see you out there soon.
Bye.
Bye.